With permission, Mr. Deputy Speaker, I would like to update the House on the humanitarian situation in the occupied Palestinian territories. A tragedy is unfolding. Israel has suffered the worst terrorist attack in its history. Palestinian civilians in Gaza are experiencing a devastating humanitarian crisis, and violence is rising in the West Bank. The best estimates emerging from a confused situation are that 2.3 million people need access to safe drinking water, food supplies are running out, 1/3 of hospitals have been forced to shut down, and 1.5 million people are displaced. I know the whole House shares my pain in seeing so many innocent lives destroyed on and since October the 7th. Britain is working intensively to get more aid into Gaza, to support the safe return of hostages and British nationals, to back Israel's right to self-defence, and to prevent a dangerous regional escalation. My right honourable friends, the Prime Minister and the Foreign Secretary, have been engaging extensively, and Lord Ahmed has been constantly in the region. This morning I met a group of charities and NGOs involved in getting life-saving support into Gaza. And I spoke yesterday to the Jordanian and Lebanese and Egyptian ambassadors, and early this morning once again to Martin Griffiths. I wish also to pay tribute to our diplomats and development experts striving to make a difference in the most difficult of circumstances. Despite, Mr. Deputy Speaker, the many challenges, the whole government is determined to do all that we can to continue to stand up for what is right and do the right thing. Immediately after Hamas's brutal assault, the government brought home almost 1,000 British nationals safely on charter and military flights. But the safety of all British nationals is our utmost priority, and so we are in regular contact with those in Gaza registered with us since the conflict began. Working with partners, we've been engaging intensively with Israel and Egypt to allow foreign nationals to leave Gaza via the Rafah border crossing. This has proved possible on 5 of the last 7 days, and I can confirm to the House that as of late last night, over 150 British nationals have made it through to Egypt. A forward-deployed team of consular officials is in El Arish, close to Rafah, to meet them and provide the medical, consular and administrative support they need. We have also set up a reception centre for British nationals in Cairo and have arranged accommodation. We will do everything we can to ensure all remaining British nationals in Gaza can leave safely. Sadly, Mr. Deputy Speaker, amongst the British nationals in Gaza are some held hostage by Hamas, among the over 200 innocents cruelly kidnapped on the 7th of October. Their plight is a stark reminder of what Hamas represents. The terrorists continue to launch rockets relentlessly at Israeli homes and families. Their stated aim, repeated publicly in recent weeks, is the destruction of the Israeli state and the eradication of their people. And that is why the government unequivocally supports Israel's right to defend itself. However, we have also repeatedly stressed that Israel must take every precaution to minimise civilian casualties in line with international humanitarian law. We continue to press Israel to ensure its campaign is targeted against Hamas leaders, militants and military infrastructure. And we condemn settler violence. Israel needs to take concrete measures to address it and hold the perpetrators to account. All parties to a conflict must ensure that their actions are proportionate and necessary, affording innocent civilians the protection that is their right under international law. Who can doubt that this is true, because the Palestinian people are also the victims of Hamas? My right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, has expressed his condolences to the President of the Palestinian Authority, Mahmoud Abbas, for the deaths of Palestinian civilians caught in the aftermath of Hamas's attack. Since the 7th of October, Mr. Deputy Speaker, the UK has made available £30 million in additional aid to the occupied Palestinian territories, more than doubling our existing aid commitment for this year. So far, 3 UK flights carrying a total of 51 tonnes of aid have landed in Egypt. The shipments included life-saving items such as wound care packs, water filters and solar-powered lights. We have also sent humanitarian advisors and vital equipment, including forklift trucks, belt conveyors and lighting towers, specifically requested by the Egyptian Red Crescent Society, to help them manage and deliver all the international aid received in Egypt more effectively. For this aid to meet escalating needs, however, it must enter Gaza and do so in much greater quantity. The government has been working closely with partners, including the United Nations and ICRC, as well as the Egyptian and Israeli governments, to achieve this. Since the 21st of October, a limited number of trucks of aid have crossed into the Strip, but the volume going through the Rafah checkpoint is nowhere near enough to meet civilian needs and cannot be, even were it operating at full capacity. We are therefore urgently exploring with partners measures which can help increase the flow of humanitarian support. These measures must include effective humanitarian pauses, as agreed by all the G7 countries in Tokyo this morning. And we are urging Israel to consider utilising the facilities at other land border crossings into Gaza, such as Kerem Shalom. This reflects our current assessment that delivery by land remains the only safe option to deliver aid in the quantity needed in Gaza, whilst ensuring the necessary control and oversight. Control and oversight matters given the absolute imperative of ensuring aid reaches those in need and is not diverted or misused. Aid diversion is a real risk, more so during conflicts, so I would like to set out to the House how we are managing those risks. All UK aid undergoes rigorous oversight. No funding goes to Hamas or the Palestinian Authority. Our humanitarian programme in the occupied Palestinian territories already operates with enhanced sensitivity, with the government having introduced additional safeguards in 2017. These include measures to verify and map downstream partners, non-payment of local taxes and enhanced due diligence processes. We constantly review the due diligence assessments in place with all partners involved in delivering aid in the occupied Palestinian territories. The whole House, Mr. Deputy Speaker, recognises, however, that to prevent further conflict and terrorism and truly alleviate civilian suffering, there must be a political solution to the conflict. This issue is uniquely polarising. We have seen across the world and in our own communities its potential to radicalise. The long-standing British position on the Middle East process is unchanged. We want to see a safe and secure Israel living alongside a viable and sovereign Palestinian state. The urgency of a political track, extraordinarily difficult today, has never been more clear. Both Israelis and Palestinians have a right to live in peace and security. We have, Mr. Deputy Speaker, moral clarity over Israel's right to self-defence, and we reject all forms of anti-Semitism. But we also are committed to discharging our moral duty to alleviate the suffering of ordinary Palestinians, and we reject all forms of Islamophobia. The current turmoil must act as a further impulse towards realising a peaceful future for the region, and the UK will be doing all it can to achieve that. I commend, Mr. Deputy Speaker, this statement to the House.
Shadow Minister Lisa Nandy.